Ladies and gentlemen and game designers, we're going to do part 2. We're going to get to know Unity, and we're going to create the Hello World project. All right, here's what we're going to do, steps in brief. Hit pause and read those. All right, the first thing I want you to do is, if you haven't done so already, grab yourself a flash drive and a backup flash drive and put labels on those things and make sure your name is on the label. And then you're going to make a folder on that thing. So you're going to go plug that flash drive in. You're going to go to the USB, and then you're going to make a folder with your name on it. Okay, so get all that done. And then we're going to go to Unity Hub. Okay, so open up Unity Hub, and then we're going to create a new project. So we're going to go to Projects, and we're going to go to New Projects, and ask, hope maybe I'll have it on the board, I don't know. But so this year that I'm making this video, we're going to use version 2022.3.7. So whatever we start off with at the beginning of the year is what we're going to use throughout the year. So just make sure you're on the same page. So same thing, whatever we use in class, download that same version of Unity at home. So like the projects will go back and forth well. Okay, so we're going to do 2022.3.7 F1 LTS, and then we're going to do a 3D core. And then don't get all crazy now, because we got to give it a name. So Hello World, and I'm gonna put B Millie. Okay, that's my coding name, B Millie. All right, and then here's the important part. So we want to find the folder. So we're gonna go to the USB, and then I'm gonna go to my B Miller folder. Okay, so we're gonna select that folder, and then actually, no. Let's do this. We're gonna make a new folder called Hello World. Okay, and then we're gonna select that folder. There we go. So that's how we do it. Okay, so we have the folder with the name on it. The project's given a good name, but that's important to put it in its own folder. And then we're gonna create the project. Okay, I'm gonna hit pause while this does this. Okay, so this takes a long time. So in the meantime, I want you guys to go through your packet, go do work, start creating your 3D models, do productive work for me, but do not mess around. I don't want to hear like, oh, I'm waiting for the thing, so I'm messing around. No, you'll get in trouble for that. You've got to be productive. We can't be wasting time, because otherwise there's a lot of this sort of thing where we're just waiting for stuff to load. So while you're waiting for this to load, be productive. All right, it took a long time, but I finally got it open. No, not that. So here it is. So this is what it's going to look like. We have a sample scene. It created a scene for us. We don't have a whole lot in here yet. Let's see what the spiel is going to have us do next. All right. How code runs in Unity. So what is start and what is update? We're going to have to do that. Code files are linked to an object in the scene. Scripts inherit from mono behavior, so we have built-in methods. So the start method is called once when an object becomes active, just like the constructor. So any code that you write in start runs one time right at the beginning. Any code that you run and put in update is called every frame, like the act method. So write these things down in your notes. A frame is a single cycle of the looping game. So every time, so however fast each frame goes, it does it again. So the frame is a single cycle of the looping game code. How fast does it go over and over again? All right. So now that you know a little bit about the start method, the update method, and what a frame is, so we're going to create a new C# script, and we're going to name it Hello World with your name on it. Write this down. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to game object. Well, let's just do this. So we're going to go to assets, create a C# script. Now, the thing that you have to do right away is you have to name it right away. So before you do anything, you just type in, you don't click on anything, it's just ready to go. Okay, so you're going to create your script. Okay, now it's all set to go. So now when I click on it, notice right here, hello world. So if you didn't name it right away, it's not going to jive. Okay, so let's double click on this. And when we double click on this, it's going to open it in some sort of editor. Right now I'm using Visual Studio. You might do Visual Studio Code. It could open it, you could set it up to open up in a number of different things. So this Visual Studio works with Unity. So they're two separate programs, but they work together. All right, so here's what we talked about. Here's our start method and our update method. This one runs one time at the beginning, like the constructor did in Greenfoot. This runs over and over again, like the act method did in Greenfoot. Okay, so let's go back to the spiel and see what it's going to want us to do next. So the code, we write the code in Visual Studio, but it runs and debugs it in Unity. These both things are IDEs, integrated development environments. They're environments that help us write code and get things to work together. Okay. Okay. So any rate, we're importing stuff, or we're importing code here. All right. So the using things. This is all different things that are being imported to this project. Okay, so we can use everything from collections, we can use everything from generic and the Unity engine, and then also everything in mono behavior is inherited by this project. So lots of things that this thing can use, lots of methods that we can use because of that. So this is how we say hello world inherits everything from mono behavior. We're going to put code here that we want to happen once. We're going to put code here that we want to happen every time. Write this down in your notes. A script is a component and needs to be set as one of the components on an object. So we talked about the component system, that we could write a script and we could add it to something, add it to something, add it. Well, we have to create that something. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our project, and we have to have somewhere to attach that script. Otherwise, it won't run. So we're going to go game object, create empty. Okay, and so we have our empty game object. And so we're going to grab our hello world script and we're going to drag it onto the game object, or we can drag it. No, it doesn't want to do it here. So we're going to drag it right onto there. Okay, so now if here in the hierarchy, it shows everything that's in our project. So we have a camera, we have a light, and then we have our game object that's kind of invisible. But if we look over here on our inspector, we can see, oh, look, the hello world script is attached to it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to type some code in. Drag the script from the project. We just did that. We just did that. We just did that. Okay. We want to print a message to the console view one time. So we want something to happen one time. So what method are we going to write our code in? So the code is debug.log hello world semicolon. Where are we going to write that code if we want it to happen one time? We're going to put it in void start. So we're going to jump back over to our project. We're going to double click on hello world. And again, it won't work if hello world is named different than this. It's not going to work. So double check that, make sure they're named the same. So we're going to go start, and we're going to capital debug dot capital L parentheses quotation mark. Okay, and don't forget at your end to put a semicolon, and then we're going to save this. Okay, and then it's going to compile it. So Unity takes that code we wrote in Visual Studio, it compiles it like, hey, is there any problems with it? And if there was a problem, it would tell us over here in the console, but it didn't say anything, so we're good. All right, so now, okay, well, what does that do? We're going to hit run, and it's going to, so we're running the project. What's happening? Nothing. Well, if we look over in the console, it's telling us, hey, hello world. And the console is a tool that we use for debugging and for testing the project to see if it's working. But at any rate, we got the project we've got Unity to do something, which is the goal. Okay. Okay, so we want to make sure we get everything saved. All right, so we're going to go File. We're going to save everything. I don't know what that was. And so we're going to save everything, and we're going to save the project, and you're going to show this to me for points, okay? And then print up the scoring guide. All right, and then after that, you're going to purposely put 3 different mistakes in the code, and then figure out what the errors were just to see what an error looks like. And then I want you to upgrade your project. So think of anything that you can do to your project to make it more interesting, better. And we're going to have a competition to see who did the most interesting thing. I mean, this is a super simple project, but see if you can do something interesting with this project. Okay, to recap, Unity is a multi-platform development tool for making 2D and 3D games. It has a visual editor. It has all these little panels that work together to help you get it done. Scripts are where you write the code, and it's attached to the objects as components to the objects. Code is written inside the script using, that should say, Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, not MonoDevelop. Make sure you show me the project for the grade, and then go on, take the pre-practice and real test, turn in your notes, and then go on to the lesson 2 or whatever's next in Canvas. Thanks.